Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a full, unrefined, dirty gameplay of, that's how we're supposed to start these, right? Prototype Edition, Tainted Grail, Kings of Ruin. Gonna be honest, we're just doing this because Cadius and I want to. We just want to. We're here, he's visiting, he runs our Discord community, drove 17 and a half hours to be here.
13.
26 if you include the drive home. So I was actually under measuring there. You've played through the entire flipping campaign.
Yeah, all but the the blood campaign from the first Kickstarter.
And so we're gonna play. We've only done. We've read the rulebook.
Yeah.
We've started tiptoeing your way through this. We are now going to do all of this on camera as you make a final determination as to whether or not you're backing this.
For certain.
That seems,
see how it goes.
Seems reasonable. That being said, because this is a heavily relaxed gameplay, we're gonna sum up with some Lagavulin. One of our lovely, I believe, Patreon members sent this our way as well, and you said you're more of a.
I'm more of a Scotch
whiskey,
person,
Scotch
myself. So.
Whereas I'm more of a bourbon, and this will be enough to sip on for the entire gameplay. I think.
Ooh.
It's
Nice
good
and
though,
smoky.
right? Lagavulin 16,
smooth.
delicious.
Very nice.
Okay, with that being said, do you want to set up what is happening here with Tainted Grail Kings of Ruin? Because this is a standalone that is adjacent to the original property.
Yeah, so standalone, still in the same universe as Tainted Grail. Big picture-wise, King Arthur leaving the homeland, right, because the plague was there, the Red Death. Crash lands on the eastern shore of Avalon, saw in his dreams, and some of the fleet didn't quite make it that way. And what we're following now is the storyline of the people who landed on the western shore of Avalon. 300 years have passed since this whole adventure happened, right? As far as the Kings of Ruin here are great heroes that went out trying to find Arthur, trying to find what had happened specifically to everybody, and have come back affected by the Wyrdness. And so that's what we are, is, another group of people trying to take advantage of a moment in history to find what happened and maybe plot our way back to other people.
Yeah, we want to potentially make our way back to civilization, maybe make our way back to the king himself.
Yeah,
but there's going to be some Wyrdness that we need to work our way through. Now, we are not going to abridge the story. We're playing this the way Quackalope does board games. That means some thematic voices. That means all the flavor text. Hang out with us. Let's have a good time. Which of the two letters do we want to read, though? Because these are commitments.
They are commitments. I think Elgan looks like a fun time. He might be a little bit more interesting. I don't know.
Okay, let's see here.
Let's commit.
300 years ago, a giant fleet left homelands, seeking refuge from the plague that ravaged the old world. At its helm stood Arthur, the one true king. He led remnants of humanity to the one place he knew was safe, an island beyond the mists, revealed to him in his dreams, Avalon. But dreams are fickle things. Arthur did not know the island already had its masters. He did not know about the Wyrdness that surrounded Avalon, the primal power of change capable of warping human minds and bodies. At his feet, approached the island, heavy storms broke it apart. Most ships landed on the eastern coast together with Arthur, his court, Merlin, and most of the Round Table. A new Camelot was founded there. Wars were lost and won, and many heroes arose. This is not your part of the story. Your ancestors were the unlucky few who crash-landed on the west on a remote part of Avalon, cut off from the king by clouds of Wyrdness, high mountain ranges, and the enemy capital, Tuthan. Yet your people survived, clinging to the strips of desolate land and forging their small tribal kingdoms. In years that followed, 3 great heroes were born of their struggles. One by one they traveled east, hoping to find the one and true king. Their journey transformed them, imbuing them with powers not intended for mortals. One by one they failed to find Arthur. One by one they returned to your lands, drowning them in chaos, and earned themselves a new name, the Kings of Ruin. The sparse network of waystones, ancient mileposts that repulsed Wyrdness and allowed safe travel, suffered in their wake. Many stones were shattered, others drowned in the mist, too deep for anyone to find and activate them again. And this brings us to you, You seem to be born under a lucky star. A quiet child of a rich Lothian mead makers who could afford to hire you a tutor instead of sending you to work in the fields. You were smart, talented. You quickly learned to read and showed some basic aptitude for magic. Perhaps if you were born in homelands, you would have become a sorcerer's pupil or a novelite. Here, the best your parents could do was grueling apprenticeship in a candlemaker's workshop. Still, you excelled. Shortly before your 20th birthday, you learned all there was about candle making, the strange art of bending animal parts and magic essences to create candles with various effects, including those that could ward off the weirdness with their light. You started your own successful workshop, fell in love with a girl, married, and soon she expected a child. Your life was as good of a life as Avalon gets. Too good, in fact. 10 years ago, you journeyed to Four Maidens, a densely populated coastal realm where humans first set foot in Avalon. It was supposed to be a week's journey. You planned to sell your supply of candles at a fair, buy some necessities, and head home. You left your workshop under the care of your pregnant wife, hoping to return soon. It's been a decade, and you're not back yet. While you visited Four Maidens, the last waystone on the King's Pass, the crucial hub between the various human kingdoms, fell. The lands of the pass were covered in weirdness so deep no traveler could navigate it. The last link between the four major areas of Western Avalon was severed, and all those who tried to restore it never returned. Year by year, trapped in a foreign land, you hoped that fickle weirdness would retreat just enough for someone to reopen the King's Pass. You even walked this trail once, with an ample supply of weird candles, yet you were forced to turn back. Slowly falling into desperation, you tried not to think about your wife and the child you've never seen, left alone without your support. This spring, word reached you that the weirdness finally slithered back from the King's Pass. They say the damaged waystone at the pass is almost within reach. An opportunity like this won't happen again in many years. You could not wait. You set foot on the last mountain trail just like many other travelers, merchants, messengers, and vagabonds, but unlike them, you do not lust for the riches of the lost human kingdoms. You just want to finish your journey, and finally, return home. I'm so sorry. We have to, we were thinking about not reading both of the character texts, but now we have to. That was way too good.
That was good.
The first portion's going to be the same.
Just a little
You're
bit
going to
here.
start, and this brings us to you.
Alrighty. I'm playing Gerdwyn here. A battle-worn daughter of a sellsword regiment. Your mother, a camp kitchen wench, bore you in the midst of a siege. She could not afford to leave her life in a traveling warband, and she had no one else to care for you. Yet she was adamant you should not grow into one of the cooks, provisioners, or prostitutes who followed the regiment. Instead, you were taught to shoot and fight from your earliest age by some of the deadliest fighters in Avalon. It took a lot of sweat and blood for you to gain a place among camp guards, armed defenders who protected the tents and wagons while the army was away. Then, you prove yourself in a real battle when a rival warband tried to pillage your camp. In time, you became one of the few women who became a full-paid foot marksman of the Iron Wall Regiment. Over the years and through many campaigns, the regiment became your family, till it was betrayed and destroyed when the kingdom of Lothian fell. The survivors scattered across several realms, but Kaelin Coldfire, the regiment's commander, knew a day like this would come. There was a backup plan. Should the Iron Wall Regiment fall, the survivors were to meet at a certain remote stone in Lothian a year later to regroup and start anew. If that proved impossible, they were to meet a year later, or the one after that, or however long it took. And of all the survivors, you were the most important one, as fate put the banner of the fallen regiment into your hands. Yet, you never made it. While you rested in the coastal area of Four Maidens, waiting for the full year to end, chilling news came. The last waystone on King's Pass, the crucial hub between various human kingdoms, fell. The lands of the pass were covered in weirdness so deep no traveler could navigate it. The final link between four major areas of Western Avalon was severed, and all those who tried to restore it never returned. You could not make it to the meeting place. You could not return the banner to where it belonged. Desperate, you kept hoping that the way to Lothian would open one day, certain your brothers and sisters in arms would still come to the meeting, regardless how much time has passed. This spring, word reached you that the weirdness finally slithered back from the King's Pass. They say the damaged waystone at the pass is almost within reach, An opportunity like this won't happen again in many years. You could not wait. You set foot on the Lost Mountain Trail, just like many other travelers, merchants, messengers, and vagabonds. But unlike them, you do not lust for the riches of the lost human kingdoms. You just want to finish your journey and finally return home.
I am so in.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I love about this game is all of the obsessive flavor text and story and world building. I'm sorry, this is going to be us flipping out and nerding out like this for the entire duration of the video. If you're here and you're still here at this point, do two things for me, real quick. First off, check to make sure you're subscribed. Quackalope needs your support. We do a ton of different types of board game coverage, and we're going to be diving headfirst into this. The better this video does, the more we're going to produce content on Tainted Grail. So if you're in, you're in. And then secondly, go ahead and leave a comment, hit the thumbs up, algorithm comment, algorithm thumbs up. You know the deal. We're warring against the YouTube factions, and that's the last I'll talk about it. All right, let's do this thing.
We're in here.
How do we start?
So the game's been set up according to the rulebook as far as how the first scenario is going to go. So we're not going to go through all the setup of how it's happening. As far as what we're going to do, our first action here of what's going to happen is we're just going to be exploring as a party in our first location, 101 here.
Okay.
Just the standard opening. I can only assume that every single person playing this game will see this first starting opening.
Yep.
And we'll be golden here. Cool. So we're in the Shunned Lands. So we're going to go to verse 17 here because we do not have the hint.
There's a few trigger words there and stuff.
So you hear us going through, like, if you have different statuses, right? We'll be keeping track of different statuses if you haven't played Tainted Grail before. Just that'll modify what sections you can look at when things have happened and triggered here. The lively and safe coastal areas of Four Maidens now lie behind you. The path ahead, uphill and desolate, glistens with the morning dew and floating wisps of opalescent weirdness. It's been a while since you've seen this capricious, ever-changing fog with your own eyes. The waystone, nestled in high grass just off the trail, looks almost spent. You walk toward it and inspect it with interest. Every waystone has its keeper in civilized lands, a feudal lord, a local town, or a brotherhood sworn to protect it. But here, so close to the pure weirdness that still covers most of Avalon, these landmarks are often snuffed out by the powers that dwell in the fog. There are also mentions of those who drain their power on purpose, though you can't comprehend how vile one would have to become to stoop this low. It's been a while since you've reactivated any stones, and it does require some effort and proper offerings, but you know you will never reach the King's Pass without their guiding light. As your hands carefully touch the surface, the stone comes back to life, strands of weirdness in the air immediately slithering away like snakes from a flaming torch. You're lucky. This stone was not yet fully exhausted, and waking it up was easy. The others that lie ahead will require more effort. So we're going to pop a waystone down here. Any of the locations that have the little symbols in the corner there, where four of them together make a little circle, allow for a waystone to go. Since we added a waystone here, any location it touches is going to change from the weirdness side to its unweirded regular side. Yeah, it's a new mechanic actually in this system. Instead of having text and information on the back of the cards, they actually have the weird and the unweird artwork. And each of those locations will have slightly different things going on with them. Cool. And other than that, we're golden. And we can dive into the weirdness, for the record. We can. It used to be an old Tainted Grail. You could not travel past any of the weirdness. The menhirs marked just as far as you could go, and it was a competition of lighting and finding your way. We can absolutely dive into the weirdness. That does not mean we should. It is a rough time. It will be a rough example here. Okay. And we get the Hints Part 1 status here. Hints Part 1. So I'll go ahead and give that a mark. All right. And by the way, I find it unsettling that there's this entire section here that's just not available in the demo. Screw you, Awaken Realms. Give me my game. Yeah. All right, and then we're just going to resolve the first event. I think you can. Okay, great. Just the part 1 of the event here. Why don't you read that? All right. Please doesn't have the active quest pile. Now that the Waystone is active, you steel yourself for the journey ahead. Knowing that reaching the King's Pass won't be easy, you're about to make your first step on the road to the pass when a strange feeling creeps up your back. Is something watching you from the mist? Quest. Reach the King's Pass, where roads leading to many forlorn lands cross.
Your initial exploration now ends. You are free to do whatever you wish and to pursue your quest. Remember, you may explore Location 101 again to find more exciting places and stories. The exploration action is free.
Awesome. And as we go along, you'll notice some things have been different, some mechanics are slightly changed. We're not going to hit on everything.
This is a core standalone in the world, in the universe. And there was a lot of feedback on the original. The original game was loved and beloved by a lot of people, but there were still some things that, like, you and I both had some criticisms of.
For sure.
I am right now under the impression and seeing, based off of what we've explored, what we've read, what we've researched, that Awakened Realms is listening to that feedback and figuring out how to keep on refining and tweaking this puzzle.
Yeah.
Same thing that they did with Nemesis to Nemesis Lockdown.
100%.
Although, depends on which one you like the most. I'm a Lockdown fan, personally.
I am also a Lockdown fan.
Do we want to re-explore Shattered Lands?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good bet. We're probably not going to be coming back to the Shattered Lands. We're going to continue moving forward.
It's Shunned Lands,
Shunned Lands.
I read confidently.
That's why the book's over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we're going to roll. Maybe I just explore here to start with.
You want to go ahead and do that?
We'll let you do that after. We can either explore as a party, right? We can explore individually. We can party up whenever it suits us and unparty at will. So, and that gives us a lot of flexibility in where we move and where we don't move.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'll explore the Shunned Lands here.
Okay, and it starts off by saying if you have Curious Part 1 status. Where is it?
Up here.
If you don't have the hints Part 1, we do have the hints.
We have it.
So instead we're going to read on. Once fertile farmland, now a dreary waste, punctuated by wooden carcasses and abandoned windmills. As you watch the frayed blades slice the gray sky to pieces, movement flutters in the corner of your eye. You feel something watching you from between the structures, but that can't be right. Only shadows dwell there, reminding sore-footed travelers about the region's opulent past. You could either spend an energy to search for the windmills, spend an energy to follow the mysterious shadow, turn back and return to the Four Maidens, or leave.
Okay. I would be very down to try to follow the shadow. Do I have the right stats for that? Do I need anything?
So if you're going to follow the shadow, it requires at least 1 courage. Do you have any courage?
Yeah, I have a courage here.
Okay.
I can.
So you do have the right stat.
Yeah, so I'll spend an energy here to venture forth.
Going to verse 1. If you have Curious Part 1, no, we don't. Catching shadows is a fool's errand. As soon as you move in its direction, the shape struts away and disappears into the surrounding weirdness. To ensure it wasn't just a hallucination, you approach the spot where it disappeared. The footprints on the ground are very real, and not human. Their shape is irregular, and irregular gait betray that whoever left them was severely disfigured. A glint of gold in the mud catches your attention as you inspect the footprints. It's a small golden coin from the homelands, bearing the countenance of King Arthur's paragon. A hole drilled through it with a leather strap reveals that the creature was wearing it as a charm. You know of only one group that wears these monuments of the old true king as their amulets, but what would they do so close to civilized realms? You fail to find more clues, but you do locate another smaller and more regular set of tracks leading from one of the neglected farm fields to one of the dilapidated windmills. If someone is living there, sustaining themselves on wild crops, go ahead and gain 1 wealth and the Curious Part 1 status.
Alrighty, and that'll end my exploration here.
And I'll go ahead and mark Curious Part 1. Okay. So, should I follow up with an exploration? Just keep on exploring this location?
Keep on exploring here.
So same text, same location.
You just want to search the windmills here?
I am actually going to go back to the tavern.
Okay. You want to turn back to the Four Maidens here?
It's got a chapter. It's got a chapter heading.
All right. We'll return to the Four Maidens here.
It doesn't cost me any energy either, though.
No.
Which is why I was curious.
Yeah. So we'll go to verse 7. You managed to... Oh, verse 2. Okay, cool. The neglected trail leading north past the Crooked Sentinel into the weirdness-covered mountains beyond does not look inviting. You turn back and cast your eyes south towards Four Maidens, their green coves, small coastal settlements, and well-maintained roads. Though safe, this realm was never your home. You did not spend so many days on the trail to turn your tail and go back there. The only way for you is forward. So Jesse tried to run away, and
I can't go back, apparently. I thought I might go get, like, a drink, relax a little bit, you know.
I think fundamentally we are days' journeys past.
Afternoon by the pool.
I don't think that's in the cart. Would you like to explore
All right, fine. I'll
here?
explore something else. Let's go ahead and go check out the windmill.
All right, that'll cost you an energy here.
I know.
Okay, and footprints of a small child weave between the fields and ruins, eventually leading you to an inhabited windmill. The family who dwells in the windmill somehow managed to avoid the worst effects of exposure to weirdness. Still, they are malnourished, half wild, and suspicious. They treat you as if you were just another hallucination, or worse, a weird spawn. Choose one, attempt to gain their trust, or leave.
Choose one, attempt to gain their trust, or leave. I would like to try to gain their trust.
Okay. Cool. And we'll go to draw a secret card 51 and resolve the encounter according to standard diplomatic rules.
This is going to be our first diplomacy.
Yeah. So a new thing with this version of Tainted Grail, Kings of Ruin, is we always had the regular small size secret deck, right, that would have cool relics, interesting items, things like that. Is we have a full size deck of secret cards. It could be combat cards, encounters, things like that, that really you don't need to get your eyes on for a while. And so you just kind of look by the number here, and we'll grab our first encounter, diplomatic counter here.
Windmill detrits.
Denizens.
Detritus. Okay, goodness. And I have drawn up, I'm going to set my cards out here so we can take a look at them with the audience and talk through exactly how something like diplomacy works.
Yeah, for sure. So, kind of assuming for a moment you don't know how diplomacy works at all, right? So, the way diplomacy works in Tainted Grail, hand of cards, and you're going to play one card from your hand at the start of every encounter.
That does not need to match previous symbols.
Nope. So, and it's all about, if you can envision, we're breaking down a conversation into little chunks, right? It's the same way when we deal combat. We're going to break down like every move of the combat individually here, from a block to a parry. It's going to be little words that we're saying here. There's 3 stat lines that affect diplomacy. We have empathy, caution, and spirituality. On our card here, our windmill denizens, we can see that they're down for spirituality and empathy. They're not really a fan of caution. They're very distrustful of that. Okay? And that's where we are. The goal of any diplomatic encounter here is to get our marker here all the way up to the top. Okay? Red means failure. Gray means, some kind of neutral effect. The book will tell us whether that was good or not. And green is a success. Change from Old Tainted Grail to what we have currently in front of us is this is going to be a duration for diplomatic encounters, as opposed to a success or fail dependent here. So you have a certain number of turns.
I'm going through 3 rounds
through this. Whether that means that you're successful right off the bat, and then you want to make sure you hold on to your position for a minute, or whether it gives you that time to build back up to a success.
So right now the cards I have are Spark, lighting a little match, Simple Truth, or Rekindle. So I can instill some hope in them as well, because I actually have a decent amount of spirituality and a decent amount of empathy. No caution, though.
Yeah. And over here, right, because we're going to be always connecting the bottom symbol, regardless. It doesn't matter what the card is. The bottom symbol will always connect. And whether the top symbols connect to each other or not is dependent on if you have the right stat line.
Yeah.
Tell my character has absolutely no talking power, and Jesse's character is
I'm pretty
all
strong
about
at
talking
it. I'm pretty
power.
strong at it. So up top here, we can see that my empathy is going to connect over here to that wild symbol.
It'd be not.
Huh?
You have 1 empathy.
Oh, is
not 2.
it 2?
So all of these are doubles.
Oh, no.
So you will connect on the
I will.
spirituality. You have a double spiritual there.
She's going to let me draw a card.
Yep. So if we just go with that, that'll...
I got Mind-Numbing Candle, just in case I want to light that.
Up this one here. So your first card's free, and then any other card you want to play after the fact, you're going to have to do the lightning bolt here, which is going to have to be a part of what you connect to continue playing cards in this sequence.
Yeah, so The options that I currently have, I don't have any magic, so the blue icons don't benefit me at all. This lightning bolt would just put down another card. It literally wouldn't do much else for me.
It might be a good spot to kind of call it good there for this round, draw another card. Like you're going to kind of lose your progress, but kind of get a better option for next turn.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Have. So, all right. And then just all that's going to happen is, since he's solo in the diplomacy, right, he's the active player, he's finished his turn, they're going to respond, so every time they have their turn, it's going to move this down, this marker, and then the duration's going to go down by 1.
And then I draw up one more card.
You draw up a card.
Okay, so I have a sweet-scented candle now as well.
Okay.
And let's see if we can't get something to start chaining together. So, let's see what ties we have here. Spirituality could chain off of this one potentially. That would be okay. And then I'd have a wider berth here. You seeing any other combinations that I'm missing here?
So, kind of looking at this at the moment. So if we place 2 time on this card and the last one's removed, it goes up by 2. We could throw this down first as an option as well. Because if we do something like this here, that would let us play this card next.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff is tying together, though.
Yeah, it's, well, technically. There we go. That might not be a...
Yeah, let's try it.
I think this might be your best shot. So, we do this here. So, we're going to get... It's going to move up 1. It went down 1 earlier. So, we'll be at... Well, we're still in the red, but it's alright. So, we're going to place 2 time markers here on this card. And I'm just going to put them above so we can see what's happening here. This is a duration card, so it's going to always be shown, right? He can play the next card because it's connected with the lightning bolt at the bottom.
But it doesn't trigger
We're not
anything.
going to use this active effect here because we don't want more time markers. We don't have the time to stick around. Okay.
But we can go ahead and place down another card on top of it.
Yeah, so it goes up again, right? And then this one here, we remove a time marker for up to 2 different cards. And then, so we're down to just 1 time marker there. We won't resolve that effect,
which will give us
this turn.
2 successes.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be, I think, about the best we can do here in our current situation.
Okay, so back to their turn.
Good. Yeah, so then all that's going to happen here, we'll just
dropping
go down
by 1. Time drops by 1.
Last round here of our adventure.
I'm drawing up another card, and we've got one more cycle here to try to make something happen.
Okay.
What do we have?
Well, so this duration marker did come off.
So we're popping by 2.
Yeah. So realistically, we want to try to have it go up by 1 at the very least. I don't know if that's in the cards at the moment.
There's not a lot of good opportunities to actually trigger something like that.
We have no magic to go up by 1.
Nope.
So we might need to... Because if this card's destroyed, but we have nothing that'll destroy a card to finish the round out. So yeah, that's a rough adventure.
This can go here, right?
And we can't play this card.
But this card can't be played down. Well, that is going to... and they will still tick down at the end of that conversation phase?
Yeah, so they'll... So at the end of the round, right, because the order will go down and then we'll lose 1 duration there. Yeah, that's all she wrote.
Not quite what we were looking for.
No, so we'll tick that down. The duration will be done. That'll end our diplomatic adventure there. And we'll resolve the red effect here. So it's looking like you gain a terror and lose a health.
Perfect.
Okay.
A little bit more scared, a little bit less okay.
Okay. And that's our first encounter. And it's gone exactly how everyone thought it was going to go.
Do we want to try that again?
You know what? If you're feeling like trying it again, that's fine.
Or just abandon them.
I might venture forward
because
see what's
they're kind of dicks.
Yeah, and I might I'll venture forward if you want to try it again here in a second.
Let me see what happens when you go up.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna travel. Just 1 energy to travel here. I'll just spend an energy. Let's pop forward. I feel very confident in my shield prowess
Your
here.
ability?
Cool. So a couple things are going to happen when we go here if you want to slide that off to the side here. Okay. So we're going to pop down a couple new locations here because they will become revealed. One of them comes in as a non-weirded location. The other one doesn't have a waystone, so it's definitely going to be a weird location regardless. And then location says if you don't have the hints part 2 status, explore this location. So I'll hand the book over to you, Jesse, and it'll be exploring the Crooked Sentinel here.
Da, da, da. If you don't have the hints part 2 status, go to verse 10. With the dreary, shunned lands behind you, you now draw close to the King's Pass. You've already walked this road once in the opposite direction, though the time makes memories into a blur. You know there should be a narrow, winding trail leading up to the pass not far in the east. To the west, the land draws in pure weirdness. You'd rather not take that path, as each step through this ever-shifting mist is a real danger, and spending a night in its coils can cost you your life or sanity. Still, they say that adventurers brave enough to walk beyond the lights of waystones sometimes find things that wouldn't be possible otherwise, for better or for worse. I genuinely... here's a tutorial, so I should continue on this other page, right? Tutorial.
Oh, yeah.
When you enter a new location, you should first resolve any immediate effects. As soon as you complete them, check all direction keys for your location and attach any cards that match these keys to the sides.
Okay.
However, note that each location card has 2 sides. Any location that touches a waystone model are now placed the right side up. Gain the hints part 2 status and exploration ends.
Alrighty.
I love the idea that they're like, you shouldn't go into the weirdness, and yet the game's like, but baby, you should go into the weirdness. Have you thought about exploring the weirdness?
I might just explore 102.
Okay.
Just to see what's going on here.
Okay.
I'll hand this back to you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I'll just explore here, get an idea if there's anything else going on here past our initial, we passed through here a couple years ago.
A crooked statue of a hooded foredweller presides over the rolling hills, a repulsive memento that this land once belonged to other, much older beings. They say the former rulers of Avalon left these statues all over the island, but to what end? You cannot fathom. The statue's long cloak splits near the base, providing enough space for a grown human to squeeze inside. A broken rune wagon rests on the side of an old trail that weaves past the sentinel, the wagon's guards looking at you suspiciously. You can spend 2 energy to demolish the statue, requires at least 2 strength. Go inside of the statue. Spend 1 energy to go inside of the statue. Spend 1 energy to study the magic aura of the statue, requires at least 1 spirituality. Spend 1 energy to search the mounds beyond the statue, or approach the broken rune wagon.
Okay. I don't have the 2 aggression, so
Okay.
I won't be doing that. I have no spirituality. That is not my character at all here. You know what? Honestly, it might be a... let's just go inside the statue.
You're going to go inside of it?
Yeah, there's a rune wagon, right? Let's just spend an energy, go inside the statue.
Go to verse
say
1.
Hello.
You squeeze into a narrow opening at the foot of the statue, and a vile stench immediately overwhelms you. Some previous travelers decided to use this hidden place as a toilet, and adorned the walls with profanities. If you have at least 1 caution, go to verse 3. Otherwise, exploration ends. You do have caution.
I do have caution. I feel like I wandered into a porta potty.
You might have wandered into a porta potty. Among the obscene messages, you find a hidden note written with charcoal. Satyr, I did as instructed, pushed everything into the weirdness to the west, 100 paces forward and 200 to the left of the old milepost. Don't let this stuff sit there for too long, or something strange is bound to happen. Gain the secret messages part 1 status.
Ooh,
Secret.
The west is sounding particularly spicy.
Well, I mean, now you have more information, too.
Ooh.
Someone hid something in the weirdness covered lands to the west. Exploration ends. But did you hear what it said? That it hid it, but if it leaves it for too long,
yeah,
it could be weird. I assume it's been too long.
Either that, or it might be chapter dependent on when you get to it.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting premise.
Yeah. Because I remember in a regular Tainted Grail,
There were some
a
chapter
few
dependent things
that,
where it's like, if you're not there within this range,
you find a different kind of land. Yeah.
That's cool.
But we'll flash back.
Yeah, let me try this again. I want another run at diplomacy.
Okay, so we won't reread everything here.
I'm rereading it all.
We're just gonna give a shot. You
find
anything
a
like
lowly...
that, you can run back because it didn't have us record a particular status that would block off that encounter here.
We find a lowly, shriveled shrew who doesn't want to talk to me or you.
All right.
I'm upset, though, because I should have succeeded on that. Everything was lined up for me to succeed.
It looked good. This hand doesn't look good.
His hand looked horrible.
Wow, that is... Okay, but the haggling, though, is not that's a good stalling
It's a good place
card
to start.
For... No.
No, it's a good stalling card.
So... If we go below 0 here, since it's going to end after an encounter, you'll discard a card from the top of your diplomacy deck. Realistically, you don't have enough struggle there that it's going to do anything. There's not enough rounds.
I mean, what if I play out Rekindle immediately? I get the 2 light on it.
It doesn't have a delayed ability on that card.
Yeah, you're right. It's this that I need out. I need the Spark
Realistically, all those cards are terrible.
All of them are horrible.
So
Spark is the natural starting point, though. It does up by 1, and then it immediately puts 2 down. That gives us... It doesn't help.
No.
Where's the card I'm looking for?
I would not.
It's this card.
That's just not going to do it.
It's this card that I need.
I understand that. So what you might do is, if you cannot play a card.
I mean, I can play a card though.
Gosh, if I was going to play any card here, you might just play this just to set yourself up a bit better with a... Because realistically, we're not going to add 2 time tokens to a delayed ability.
Yeah.
The way that would work, right, is if it had already triggered, we would add more tokens to re-trigger it again later.
Yeah, because some of them
trigger in short
stages.
enough, it won't matter.
All right, I'll do that.
It won't affect anything we got going on. We'll go their phase. I didn't put the duration out. That's
they
fine.
drop by
It's
1,
at
which
2.
means I discard 1, right?
You discard a card from the top of your deck, which is fine.
Then I draw 1.
Yep, and we're back to the top again.
Please tell me this matches up. The magic doesn't help. That play doesn't help.
Okay. What it might do, though, is... this is definitely going to be your last shot at this particular encounter, I think.
What? Why? I'm going till we get it.
We might be here a while.
I want to talk to them.
I will continue to exploring for the people.
I mean, if
there.
I stick this down, that's a double though, right? So that's not going to match up with my...
It won't match there.
It's not going to give me really anything.
No,
it's a bad play.
Flash of Insight's good for resetting the board to have all the symbols you need. Which could be okay. Why? You know what? Why don't you just play Flash of Insight?
I mean, we're going to desperately need to chain the next...
It's going to have to be on next turn, okay? And we'll call it there.
I'm not even getting card draws.
All right, so discard your top card here. And we'll hope we're down to 1 if I can find 1 on this D10. All right.
You may pay 1 wealth to up it, but we need more than that.
Okay, but and you have absolutely... Well, they don't want caution anyway. That's not what they're after. So
this is not... I mean, it's kind of that, right? To start with.
Yeah, I mean that can be an option. And then you have to pay a wealth to even have it move up 1.
Yeah, well, let's just see what we can get if we can continue pushing. This would have it move up 2. So that would be 2 total, and then this is not going to have.
You would
it move
need
up at all.
another. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's round 2 for Jesse. Another loss of health and another terror.
I'm supposed to be the guy that's really good at talking to people.
You know,
it's like my whole mechanic, man.
Anyway, so we'll maybe revisit them at a later date. For now, we're gonna move on.
I'm gonna talk to them again, probably.
All right. So I'm here at the Crooked Sentinel still. So the question is, like, our overarching goal right now quest-wise,
is to go get
reach
that bag in the
King's-
Wyrdness.
Well, that'd be great. Is to reach the King's Pass, right? Where roads leading to many forlorn lands cross. We have some Wyrdness over there. Wyrdness is not terrible, although we don't want to rest at the end of our round there.
Yeah, and you'll gain a fear by going into here.
Yeah, your character does have the ability to make candles, which can flip locations, regardless of whether or not
It's true.
there is a waste.
It's a shame I'm stuck in a conversation.
It's a shame that you might need to move forward. So maybe what we need to do here, and maybe what might be the easiest thing to do, is just if I kind of prep on next turn, or next round, right?
Okay.
For you to have a candle and we can move in there without it being weird.
After the conversation's done?
No, let's...
Fine, I'll move forward. I hate leaving mysteries unsolved.
I know. But, fun fact for all our audience here, they won't know what happens. Right? Because right now, they're getting spoiled on the particular...
No spoilers, apparently, because I won't resolve any of the conversations.
So, I'm going to go look at the stone chorus, you know?
Okay.
I'm just going to spend an energy over here to move over here. Okay?
Cool.
I'll resolve this. Let's do this correctly. So, I will draw and resolve a green encounter once per day. So, there's a little time marker to say that you've done that. So, and I'll just draw the top green encounter, and it's a Wordwalker turtle here. Okay? So, combat's going to work very similar to diplomacy.
Not afraid of Wyrdness, as its shell protects it from natural and supernatural threats alike.
So why aren't we like killing them?
Why aren't
and
we
wearing
in
their
its shell?
Like, that's my question here.
I'm putting my head in its shell and walking around like that for the rest of the game. Tom, you know it doesn't do anything when he's dead.
Gosh. Okay, so now I'll look at my stat line here, see what I want to do. Ooh, let's not do that card. Oh, I shouldn't hold these. So, of options that I have, so the way combat's going to work, right, against an enemy. So, if you don't play any cards, because, like, nothing in your hand works, there's an opportunity attack that'll happen. And then the idea is that we want to get to 6 hits, right? 6 cubes in its combat pool. And we'll get those by playing cards that give us cubes. And the more cubes it get, the more interesting things happen. Some enemies will get more violent, others will get weaker, more prone to fleeing away. So right now,
are you going to be better than me is the question.
We'll see.
Almost impossible not to be. I know, I heard you commenting.
Honestly, I think it's time just to get in there, you know. This doesn't chain to anything next turn, so we will see what happens. I'm just going to charge in. You know, my character seems like...
Straight on
I'm
charge?
just going to charge here. Okay.
Turtle!
It's going to take a...
single wound.
A single wound
because you do have the strength.
You know... Gosh. Oh, but that's... You know, actually, I'm not going to play a card. Because if I play a card, it's just going to lose the cube anyway. And with opportunity, I get to draw an extra card here, so I can cycle my deck a little bit. And
okay.
So if I don't play anything here, at the end of the day, what's going to happen is it's going to do the opportunity. So I'm going to take a damage here. It's red, which means it's unavoidable versus avoidable damage on some of the stuff here. I don't have a shield or anything, so I couldn't avoid it anyway. There's no cards to trash, and I'll draw an extra card, and at the end of the round, I will draw a card. Now, I only have a hand limit of 3, so now it's like, who needs to defend? There we go. That easy choices made here.
Perfect.
Easy choices.
Perfect. I like it. I like the confidence.
Okay. So now...
Fighting a turtle, it's slow anyways.
It is slow anyways. So let's...
You have a powerful bolt, a charge, and a reposition.
So if I want to use Powerful Bolt, I need to set that up for next turn. Because Powerful Bolt does not have any way of chaining that. That has to be the first thing you do, and you cannot do anything else afterwards.
Yeah, but a reposition would put you in a position where you could actually chain that Powerful Bolt.
Yeah.
So you could play down charge, then reposition, set up for Powerful Bolt after that.
Yeah, so we if we do this now, right, and if I play... I don't know if I even need to do reposition at the moment.
Hold on to it?
Yeah, because I get 2 times here at the bottom.
It's true.
If I do that. So that might be a solid thing to keep around here. So kind of the play I didn't want to do last time, but I think it's going to be more worthwhile now. So 1 damage done to it in its combat pool up here. Then its turn. It has 1 to 2, so it's just going to lose this immediately.
You need to do some big damage on it quickly.
Although it is going to deal me a damage because I charged it.
Okay.
You know what, though? I have my time. I have time here, and so what if I take a few hits here? You know what?
Yeah,
Nothing terrible has ever happened in Tainted Grail from taking a little damage.
Nah, yeah. So nothing, like the motto of the box is take a little damage, why not?
Exactly. So at this point here...
There's actually 1 surprise card in the box. Did you find the card underneath the insert?
Yes.
Just with the razor blade in it?
Yeah.
It was just take some damage, why not?
Just reach underneath. They didn't want you to take that insert out, folks. All right, so then back to me here. I'm just going to play this powerful bolt here. Okay, so we get 2 off aggression, 2 times here, so it's going to be 4. The nice thing about the turtle is when you have 4 wounds on here, it doesn't know what to do.
It's stunned.
It's stunned.
Nice.
So that's going to be all I can play. I can't do anything else, so I'll just draw another card into my combat here.
Now you desperately want to get 2 more hits, not just 1 more hit, because 1 more hit is going to allow it to heal quite a bit.
But lucky for you, since I held on to this reposition,
okay,
I give myself the ability to reset what's there, and now I can play this here, this disabling bolt. I can do that because I can activate there with my aggression.
Sure.
I have caution and 1 there, and that does 2 wounds to it. And we got it taken care of. Clearly, we know who spent more time in Tainted Grail. I don't want to...
It's almost like... It's almost like I should have just taken my combat deck instead of my conversational deck to the windmill full of children.
We will not be demoing that. Anyway,
house roll.
It's 2 food looted off of the turtle here.
Tainted Grail. It's like one of those challenge videos. Tainted Grail, no diplomacy.
Then I'll throw this on the bottom of the deck here.
When they ask you to do diplomacy, you just throw it.
Something like that. Alright, so with that combat done and that lightning effect resolved, that only happens once a day. So, and now I'll throw location 105 out here because we have a new spot going on.
Nice kill, to be fair.
Yeah, and we can see now we have another spot for a waystone. To activate a waystone, we'll just say that. So it happens here. Anybody played Tainted Grail activating Minears, and they had a little bit of a little Minear action happening back there.
They've changed a pretty strong concept, though, between the Minears and the...
for sure.
And honestly, I feel like that's almost making fun of it.
It's kind of... But...
Because the Minears were you lit them, and then they started to fade, and they were kind of like the fog was closing in even more, which makes sense thematically, but mechanically, it made a little bit of upkeep grinding.
For sure. They were expensive to maintain.
Yeah.
Right, so there was abilities that would make it a little bit easier to keep lit, and then just you would need to find that resource grind of how to get enough magic, enough food, enough wealth to get things lit, and what locations were easier to light.
And so this is different in 2 ways, in that we can actually explore the Wyrdness with the candles and stuff.
We can.
And these waystones are going to operate differently than the Minears.
The waystones are permanent, unless like an enemy or some other effect will get
They can
rid
be
of them.
damaged, but...
Yep. But as far as upkeep, we don't need to upkeep them. They'll stay lit and taken care of. Ideally, until we're out and away. There's only 3 in the box. We can only have 3 on the map at one time, right?
Yeah.
But in general, to activate a waystone here, you just pay a magic per character and a wealth or a food per character.
Okay.
Right? Or they have an alternative that you can pay with blood. So.
Oh, nice.
So blood and tear, as you
Lovely.
might cut your arms to drain enough blood to satisfy these waystones. So
it's good. I have the razor blade still.
You know what? I'll pass for the moment, but if we need it in a second, I'll let you know.
If anyone's seen me sleeveless, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to make that joke.
So, anyway, that's how we activate our waystones here. They're going to be really easy. As we can see, generically, it looks like there's a path being laid out already. From here to here, we have waystones. And we know with your character back here, you have a way of gaining magic, theoretically.
Cool.
So I'll leave it over to you here.
All right, I'm going to
move along. You're not going to deal with the children anymore.
It's reminding me of the giant sword at the very start of Tainted Grail. I failed on that multiple times as well.
It for anyone who hasn't played Tainted Grail, the giant sword enticed you to climb up it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was, do you climb up it? And you're like, all right, I have enough stats to climb up. And it's like, well, do you venture a little further?
Yeah.
Do you venture a little? And then it got to the point where at the top it's like, if you fail this dice roll, you like fall and take damage, and you start the process over again. And it was a bear to get up to. The reward at the top was worthwhile, but I could see that just getting under your skin a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bringing back all the memories.
I'm gonna move up to the crooked.
So it'll be one
Sentinel.
energy to travel.
Yeah.
And then if you want to explore here at the Crooked Sentinel, if you want to study the magic aura of the statue.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think magic is
we
valuable.
do not have the faint notion.
Do we not?
Hold on. You might need to search the mountains beyond the statue, maybe? Or approach the broken rune wagon. There are other options here that might give you, because we do not have the faint notion.
And that's what
status.
it takes to actually do the. I see.
We need the faint notion. So for the moment, we have no magic. So
I could also take the action here though to pay energy to go ahead and get secret card 2.
And that might be a solid
Let's
thing too.
pause and do that.
So,
I am going to be at a point now though where I want to rest.
Yep,
so
for sure. And I'm almost right there. I might explore the stone cores.
Go ahead and grab me secret card number 2.
Yep. So it was 2 food and a
no.
A food.
Pay 1 food, 2 energy, 1 food, and I go ahead and grab.
And this is going to be his candle here, his specialty.
Yeah.
And
I can spend no energy to discard this card to flip a location you are in or a adjacent location from the Wyrdness side to the clear side. So I can actually cycle this without us having to explore into the weird. And the reason why my character wants to do that is because I'm afraid of the weird.
Extra afraid.
Whenever you enter a weird location, gain 1 fear on top of any other immediate effects.
Yeah. Gosh.
Okay.
So, but on the positive side, anybody played original Tainted Grail, it was really hard to explore out without the Meniers. And even here we have a character who's really good. I'll just use food.
I'm just going to poke my head in there.
Flip the locations.
I'm just going to go see,
So, already very nice quality of life changes. So over to me, since you're on the rest, I'm just going to explore 103 here.
Okay.
I haven't explored it. And that means next turn, when we start with our beginning of day, I'll have to draw another green encounter here.
The Stone Chorus. They say the Wyrdness, when left to its own devices, slowly transforms even the land itself. You know no better proof than this place. The basalt walls of the narrow pass display warped, inhuman faces of stone, their mouths agape. The salty coastal wind carries their voices to faraway places. What strange song do they sing? Pay 2 energy to make an offering to the chorus. Spend 1 energy to listen to their song. Spend 1 energy to sing with them, which I think is just a scream. I think you just turn your face to the wind and you go, ah! Or spend 1 energy to search the woods below the chorus. That artwork. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that does look.
It's flipping beautiful.
Oh. If you can't tell, the Wyrdness been awfully strong on this side of Avalon compared to the other. So, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna, do I want to sing with them? Do I want to, because in my mind, if I go down into the woods below, I'm envisioning like I'm gonna find like an animal to hunt, or I'm gonna
probably
do something. Little, like I don't know for sure. Haven't played this far. I'm just gonna listen to their song. I think that's where I am. And I'll spend the energy to listen as opposed to
1 energy,
anything else. Yep, 1 energy.
Roll a die. You may re-roll the die once for each point of spirituality you have.
Oh, I am eating whatever roll this is. Alrighty, and it's time for a 6, but it's probably going to be a 1 because I'm on camera. It's a 4.
Ooh.
Okay, alright.
They sing
above average.
They sing a calming song that makes you feel at peace. Lose 1 fear.
I wasn't afraid at all anyway. So.
You feel at peace!
Alrighty. And that's that. And we're good to go. So I'm at a point also that we're going to be resting here. And we'll just go through how the rest works. Start a day, end of the day. So everyone follows along here. Cool. So resolve end of day effects. There are no end of day effects that I have or you have at the moment. That could be anything from if there's an item that needs to be changed over, right? If there's something hunting us, all that kind of stuff. Cool. So we're going to get all of our energy back to the top, not to the bonus area, but just to what our maximum is. Okay. No one's at a low enough health that we'd run into our health being an issue.
If your health is too low, you actually have this little barrier that we keep moving down, and this thing is going to limit how much energy you can get back depending on how wounded you are.
I will pay a food while I'm here, just to raise my health by 1. That would also raise my energy and lower my terror, but my terror isn't a problem at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of food since I killed the turtle. So
that's fair.
Okay, advance your characters. We don't have any XP. And then now the big thing we're going to do, so each of our locations, we can have a vision while we're here. So
start with the...
We'll go look at the vision for 102
Crooked
here.
Sentinel.
All right. In your dream, you travel through a strange unknown land, seeking shelter from clouds of weirdness in the shadow of 4 dweller statues similar to the one in whose presence you now sleep. To push back the swirling, opalescent doom that floods from all directions, you must give these silent watchers everything you have. Your meager supplies of food, your magic trinkets, and sometimes even your blood. What a torturous way to travel.
It is kind of making fun of them.
Regardless of your efforts, the statues are always hungry for more, and as you grow weaker, you realize with horror there's only one possible ending. You wake from this nightmare exhausted, but also relieved it was only a dream. For now, gain the Faint Notion Part 1 status.
Ooh.
Alright, so
I love that it is heavily thematic, and yet still kind of picking fun at...
it's very much...
Because it's what they did.
Yeah.
What a horrible way to travel.
And I really loved the original Tainted Grail. I'm certain that we'll talk about eventually here. Thoughts on comparisons and stuff like that. But I loved it. It definitely had its downsides for how that traveled, right? And I love that they've been open and receptive to how the community has felt and are okay. Yeah,
it's no secret. I adored the original Tainted Grail as well.
So if you want to
did not play through as far as you did, though, sadly.
Oh, well, we can talk a little bit about it.
Because life went upside down.
If you want to do 103 here for a vision for myself, and we'll rock and roll. It should be at the very end of 103.
I was gonna make a joke about being quarantined for like a year, but
hey,
I couldn't figure it out.
I don't like to revisit those memories.
It's infuriating. Year after year, countless travelers walk by, chittering on their pathetic human voices. In the meantime, you are forced to stay silent. What stories would you tell, given the voice? What horrors and madness from the eras long past would you bestow on your listeners? Eventually, you can no longer contain yourself. The eons of tragedies and triumphs itching to get out, and as the weirdness envelops you, blurring the lines between what is possible and what is not, you suddenly find a way to express everything boiled inside of you. Suddenly, you begin to sing, and your voice feels the air from the tips of the Four Maidens to the lone waystones of the King's Pass. Your voice will shake the earth and make everyone in the nearby lands flee in fear. New lead. The Stone Chorus learned its song from the travelers passing up and down the trail to the King's Pass. If you come back to it with a song it doesn't know, it could learn something new. The vision ends.
Okay.
That's so cool.
And one thing they've been doing here...
That's so cool.
The Kings of Ruin specifically is in the book. Things are like side quests, ways of getting deeper into the world, right? We'll have new leads of kind of goals that like we'd take note of, we'd write down.
I wonder what song it could sing. Like what other songs it might get.
I envision that it's got to be something grandiose and interesting. And it might be something when we get to the other side of Avalon, if that's a possibility.
I'm just wondering, like right now it's singing a horrified song, a song of terror, right?
So it has to be something reassuring, positive.
That or it gets darker.
I don't know. That is a possibility. I have no idea. So,
cool.
Here we are. After that, we're going to start the next day. So we'll go stage 1 here. So start at AFX. One thing, any location that was not attached to a waystone gets flipped to its weird side. So the candle only lasts for 1 day, which is great. We'll remove the time token here. I did misspoke earlier. You only resolve the lightning bolt if you move into the location.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, so it won't hit you again.
And then we'll resolve an event for the day here. We'll mosey on here into the next adventure of what's going on. So, Night Guess. As you make your camp, you notice strange shapes lurking in the dark at the edge of your vision. In the late evening silence, their inhuman whispers reach your ears, making your skin crawl, even though you can only make out single words. The sword of old, crucible, ruined ones. Ooh, the passage east. Finally, you can't take it anymore. You grab a flaming branch from the campfire and swing it at them, sending sparks into the starry night above. The shapes slither back into the darkness, though. You are confident they will come back soon. It's best to hurry. So everyone loses a health and gains a terror.
Oh, great.
So, this should have been at the night and not the day, but it doesn't super matter here. And I'll just throw this. It doesn't have a little lock, so it's not going to be the top card here. Just individual. As we get through the events each day, things will darken, worsen, change.
Okay, so I'm thinking about going back and maybe talking with
No,
I'm going to discard the candle.
Okay, well, why don't you go get some magic here first? Why don't you explore here? Because it's just one, although...
I thought you wanted to go into 104, though.
I do want to go
Or do you want me going looking for the package?
I do want to go into 104, for sure.
Okay.
But we also need magic to write a waste down, and we don't want to be in, like, a place that's going to give us a bunch of terror if we can help it. Because it is going to flip, and it will not be a great time. So why don't you explore here at 102? Doesn't cost anything.
All right, I'll be patient.
Yeah, just a little bit here, right?
Let's go down and look at the rolling hills.
It's one energy to study the magic aura of the statue.
But we still don't have...
You do have the faint notion now.
That's what we just got?
Because you got it in the vision. You saw what people on the other side of the continent were doing with their lovely lives.
Interesting.
So, one energy to go here to verse 4.
I didn't realize we had that upgrade.
Yeah, it's fun how that worked out, right? We couldn't find a way to get it, and it was just part of the night coming to us. So spend your energy, and then as you touch the strangely warm surface of the statue, you feel unsettling energy seeping into your veins. There is plenty of magic here, but it is so strange it would probably take Merlin himself to untangle it. Unfortunately, the most famed wizard of the homelands was lost with the rest of Arthur's court, and the only beings who could rival him, the elder hags of Venetia, are not someone you'd ask for help. So we're gonna each gain an XP. Okay, grab yourself an experience here. And then we're gonna gain the Strange Lessons Part 1 status.
Okay.
Alright, we didn't gain magic. I just kind of assumed we would. But we did gain an experience point, which is rather exciting.
Experience points are lovely.
And just that Strange Lesson Part 1 here.
Alright, what are you thinking about then?
If you want to discard your card to swap that to its other side, I'm down to roll in there. I think it's spend 2 energy to just walk in there.
Typically, whatever they send you in the random direction of tends to pay off if you can get to the end of the story.
The question is it worth going in there to see what's in the Book of Secrets, verse 70? Or is that a terrible idea?
You mean to trigger the event?
So we have an option, right?
The only thing you see are naked tree trunks sticking out of the Wyrdness, or are those masts of ships sailing in the opalescent sea. I don't think you should explore there.
Okay. Well, why don't you discard your candle?
Okay.
And we'll flip that over, because you can make a new candle. It's not the end of the world there.
We've discovered the strutting forest. The top layer of soil is gone, taken either by coastal winds or the Wyrdness. The trees strut on their gnarly roots in a parade of strange insects, their legs straddled with unearthed minerals. That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, the artwork on all these cards, when you see it in person, it's phenomenal. Original Tainted Grail had phenomenal artwork. How everything linked together on the map was great. And, since you did that, I'm just gonna, you know what? We'll send in our most successful character so far.
Excuse you.
And I'll spend 2 energy to move over there across the locations. There was no lightning bolt since we have the Hints Part 2 status.
Now there's an action here. 2 energy to gather gemstones, and you'd gain 1 wealth.
I have 2 wealth right now, so that's less exciting for me, which is fine. Alrighty. So we have a new location here. It kind of looks like there's a crater in the middle of that. Snippets of the battle long past flash in the Wyrdness, and something shines in its clouds like a fog lamp. That sounds concerning. But I'm going to look in the Strutting Forest. I'd like to explore 104 here. We flipped it over. We wanted to give this a shot and see how it would work. And let's see if we find something exciting here. I'm very hopeful.
The Strutting Forest. Oh my gosh, that artwork is amazing.
Oh,
The top layer of soil is gone, taken either by coastal winds or the Wyrdness. The trees strut on their gnarly roots, a parade of strange insects, their legs studded with unearthed minerals. An old path weaves between the trees and heads north. You also notice a horseless cart, sitting not far off the path, in a place where the thick Wyrdness used to hang not so long ago. Leave or search the cart?
I'll search the cart.
If you have the Sticky Fingers, Part 2.
I don't think we do.
We don't.
Okay. Okay.
Wait. Otherwise, read on. That's
Ooh.
if you have that.
Ooh.
You got vicious. The cart probably belonged to a traveling merchant. Judging from the bloodstains on the front bench of the cart, the owner did not part with it willingly. The money box is smashed open and several containers are empty. Someone probably took the most precious loot and pushed the cart with the rest into the Wyrdness to retrieve it sometime in the future. There's nothing incredibly precious among the remaining wares, but the sheer amount is enough for your sack to bulge out pleasantly. Gain 2 food, 1 wealth, and 1 magic, and one random item card from item deck A. Gain the Sticky Fingers Part 2.
Alrighty, I got 2 food, a wealth, and a magic. Important to note, you can trade food or wealth. You can't trade magic between people.
Yeah.
But, so, for instance, I can totally get Jesse some food. He wanders over here with me. You know, we can roll with that.
And
a random deck item from A. I did shuffle this. Let's see what we got. We got Smoke Bomb. Combat or Diplomacy. Discard this item to escape or avoid without triggering any bad things. So if we come across something that's like, I really don't.
Sort of a Hail Mary item. Yeah. Full on a I don't want to deal with this type of thing.
Yeah. So anyway, and that's the end of the Strutting Forest. There's nothing else going on there.
That's it.
So
now you're going to want to either move out of there or push forward hard.
I think we're in push forward territory is how it feels. So are you wanting to push forward with me here? To the Wyrdness?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to go around the other side.
You're going to have a combat encounter over here.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm very strong.
All right. Well, why don't you move over here?
Great.
Do your combat
I'll show
encounter.
you. I should have used my combat deck versus the denizens of the windmill. I'll show you why. Don't worry.
We'll see how it goes. I picked the hardest enemy for him.
I got this.
So we have a Hex Leech.
Hex Leech.
6 health again.
When there are no waystones to feed on, it sustains itself on blood. I don't.
He's feeling very confident in his abilities here, and I fought a majestic turtle for its shell, and he's going to take on a leech that's feeding on magic.
Oh my gosh.
But magic is on the loot here.
Yeah, I see that.
So that could be fantastic for us.
But if this encounter does not end in victory, each party member loses 5 magic. So magic is also at risk here.
But I'm not a party member.
That's true. And I have no magic anyway.
So, that's fine.
Okay. I have a Poisonous Candle, a Defeat, and a Defend, and a Repost.
An important thing to note for people that haven't played Tainted Grail, this is a Guardian, so you could expect in a miniature pack or something, there will be a Hex Leech. If you would run away from this combat, it will stay on the board and will move at the end of every round in a particular direction. So, it isn't going away.
Yeah, this is a bad character.
I'm just looking offhand, and I see a distinct lack of red cubes on any left-facing side.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and I agree with you that there is a shocking lack of red cubes anywhere.
It might be like you not playing a card to...
Well, this places 3 times down on the card. Each time a time is removed, gain a damage. Or gain
that might not be bad.
I mean, so, that's not terrible.
Does that set you up poorly for the next round on this side? It might not be. I mean, that's 3 distinct damage that's going to happen regardless of what you do.
But our opportunistic, it's going to give me a damage, going to destroy a card. I think I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm just going to try to cycle my deck a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that might not be bad. Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you could do, I really like this card, but it would be setting it up for next turn.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. Yeah, I'll leave it up to you.
Right.
If you want to just cycle, you'll take a damage.
Yeah, I'm going to take a damage.
There's no card to trash, and you draw a card. And then draw a card for the end of the round. There's a hand limit of 3 cards, so we'll have to discard 2 cards here. I tell you what, we have Candlestick Smash. That just feels like a Hulk move there. So we have some better cards here that look like they can work. You have absolutely no aggression, so the top will never apply.
Honestly, I think I'm bad at this.
So you might be. I would keep reposition. That seems like a good thing. Defend. Who needs to defend?
Yeah.
Never defend. And then I would get rid of so Poisonous Candle. These are the same cards, right? They're just going to be each getting rid of something. I think getting rid of one of those is fine.
I mean, although I could put 2 of them down, and that could be the way I murder them.
And if you want to go for that, that's fine. If you feel like that's the play here.
I just don't know how we're getting more.
Okay, well let's. Why don't you get rid of this Candlestick Smash?
Place 1 time on this card. When the last time is removed from this card, gain a damage. Each party member prevents 1.
That could be a solid adventure 2.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I don't think it's worth it.
All right. So why don't you play out a Poison Candle here?
Setting this down. That's going to go ahead and get 3 time tokens.
Okay. And all that's gonna. Oh, did you gain your terror? Oh no, from here, the 2 terror it dealt you.
Where did it deal me 2 terror?
So you had the opportunity attack because it did not do any. You didn't do anything. It still does its actual attack.
Oh, 0 to 1. Yeah.
And 2 terror. He could be real terrified in a second.
What happens if I get to
So you're going to go into... So, in case you don't know, if you go into the top of your terror track in the red parts, right, you're going to be in the Going Insane, right? And we'll draw a card that says you're going insane, and it's going to list out what happens specifically. So it talks about...
Don't pretend like we have it yet.
All right, so I'm just going to slide this to the side, and we'll deal with it when it happens.
Now, am I able to do this?
Not this round.
I can't, can I? Because
nope.
I don't have the...
well, you can connect it next turn, because you only need to connect on the bottom, which is free. But you cannot do that right now. Technically, you could do this, and technically, you could decide to run away right now, which would take an energy, I think, to run away. I'll have to make sure on that. But I think...
No, we're going to keep going.
You're going to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so you can decide to escape, and then the enemy attacks you.
Yeah, we don't...
Doesn't take you an energy, so with this card, you don't get attacked.
We don't run. We'll set that down.
All right. Cool.
I don't need to set this down right now, though.
Okay, but that would be a good thing to do. All right,
drawing up.
Well, hold on. Let's do this. So, time token's going to pop off.
1 damage
it's going to take a damage. And it's combat pool. It's going to smack you back for 2 more fear. So, you are now going insane officially. Okay, so this is your card to keep here.
Out of the dangers on this island, the Creeping Madness is the most insidious. Attach this card to your character tray whenever your terror marker is on the red section of the terror track. Eating food during rest no longer gives any health. You panic in combat and diplomacy. Whenever you travel or explore, roll a die, 1 to 3, lose an energy, and continue your action. If you have 0 energy, lose 1 health instead. 4 to 6, nothing happens, continue your action. Discard this card as soon as your fear gets below the red section of the terror track. What does panic mean?
So panic means you don't draw cards at the end of your turn. You draw the top card of your deck and play it immediately without looking at it. So that'll be the card you play this round. And that'll be the first one off the bat, no matter what. Okay, so Rekindle got played. And you're going to place 2 timers on a candle card. I mean...
That's okay.
You have a candle, so that's all right.
Now, this can't go down, can it?
No, you would need a lightning bolt to have it go down.
But this can go down.
That can go down. It's not going to do anything for you unless you decide to escape.
No, it's just there.
Okay.
Okay, it takes another damage.
Yeah, so
we're doing well.
Pop off. Jesse wanted to show off how well his deck's going to roll in combat, and you can tell, well-oiled machine over here.
I know how to make candles.
You're doing something. So, there's 2 damage on it. So now it's going to deal you a damage.
Great.
So now his energy is going to move down because it cannot be above. Well, No, you moved the wrong one. It's the red.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But
that actually goes
the
down
energy
as well.
has to go down as well.
I actually prefer panicking because it really takes the choice out of the decision.
It does. You just... And back to the top. Just play.
I just go for it, you know?
Don't know what it is. Spark.
That's great. That's great.
Okay.
You may remove one time from the time card, which is going to deal him another damage, and then one more will deal him another damage.
Yeah, because I don't think playing that card's going to do you anything right now.
I don't think this card can be played.
Nope, can't.
Nope.
So, anyway, end of turn. Another candle here.
Great.
So, bam, we're at 4.
Yep.
The great thing, its reaction is going to be lose one of these.
I feel good about that, though.
Okay.
Good about that.
So now, next card.
Mm-hmm.
If you run out of cards in your combat pool, you fail to combat. You have to run away. Like you have nothing left. That's not going to trigger and do anything. I know. Now, nothing happens. You do lose a combat less, which can actually legitimately be really good here. Okay. So then we go to end of turn, right? The last timer is coming off this candle, which has done all the work.
It's done a lot of work. If I could have got this one down, it would have been golden.
It would have been.
Yeah.
And now, because of the careful attack, you're not going to lose a combat cube right now. So, draw your next card.
We're in this.
You are in it. You only have one turn after this. Gather thoughts.
Place one time token on this card. When the last time token is removed from this card, lose one.
I tell you what, Jesse has officially not pulled through on this particular adventure. Now, this did not say May, so we're going to pop a cube down here. Cool. So end of round. This is going to come off. You're going to lose a cube out of there. You're going to draw 2 cards. Can you draw 2 cards for me, sir? All right. And Jesse can no longer draw the amount of cards, so he will have to escape. So you will take... you will lose you gain a terror. You can't gain any more terror. I thought nothing happens. And you officially have to escape.
I thought I had
And officially in this location now is the Hex Leech. Because you escaped combat, you do get to move to an adjacent location for free here. Because if you're in the same location with the Hex Leech here, you will have to actually fight it.
I'm going to stay and fight.
No, you have to move.
I know.
So. All right.
What if I move back and then I move directly into that spot again to prove my might?
I didn't see any cards that looked like they were going to win you the game there.
Okay, I'm backing off.
All right. You are a little worse for wear there, sir. Yeah, definitely. Oh, and because that encounter did happen, we'll put a token here. It didn't succeed.
I'm doing really well.
You are.
At the story portion of this game.
And you are going insane right now, which is also not great.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem.
You have a food, which is good, although your food is only going to be used to lose a terror. I think I'm going insane. You can't actually gain health right now.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to think here.
I mean, the food will at least drop my terror, right? And then I'll be able to start being okay after that.
Yeah. So... But you can only pay, I'll have to look at the rules maybe if we need to, pay 1 food to gain 1 health, additional energy, and lose 1 there. If you can do that multiple times or not. I know in the original game you could. You know what, I feel bad. The encounter went so terribly, right?
Are you coming back to me instead of exploring forward?
So, here's what we're going to do.
I am not carrying my own
I'm going to go to your location. I'm going to give you a couple food.
Oh, wow.
Since we're in the same location.
Lovely.
Right? I think you need the food, and I don't trust you to hunt it for yourself right now.
I appreciate that.
And I'm going to roll over here. Let's just take on this Hex Leech.
You son of a gun. You're going to do this to me?
Okay.
In front of the denizens in the windmill? In front of them, you're going to do this to me?
Well, they didn't like you very much.
You know they're watching.
Well, 2 times, and at least I didn't go try to harass them. So, we'll give it a shot.
I wanted to say hi.
Hi. Well,
I wanted to give them a gift.
Okay. Oh, and it was another energy to move that second location. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Alrighty.
You want my advice on this?
I have defend. I mean, that's fine.
Solid start.
Hey, you know what? This happened the last time.
You're defending my honor. That's what it is.
I don't necessarily want to gain terror at the moment either. You know what? Let's Gain that one fighting a purple monster. I don't know about that. All right, we're going to start off just like you did. I'm not going to do anything right now because I don't like these defend cards. That's not the way I roll personally.
Okay.
You know, I'm just going to charge in here. So I gain 2 terror. But I would actually lose my magic. Hold on now. That's actually like...
a problem.
I'm probably going to lose it anyway. You know what? That's all right. Who needs magic these days?
I mean, you lose it, but if you beat him, you get it back.
Yeah, so I'll gain 2 magic here. Okay. And draw a card. And then I'll draw a card for my end of turn here. And let's just see what we get. So we have the Powerful Bolt. I have Quick Load, place 2 charges, pay 2 charges, the next... Ooh, okay. That's kind of what we're feeling here, that Quick Load.
Pay 2 charges, the next card played does not need to connect with a lightning bolt. That's pretty great.
That could be a solid... now, I could see that card being something like, oh, but it's the next card played does not need... This is all doubles. I only have doubles in practicality here, so I would need to make sure that if I play something, it's so not completely a perfect answer, not the worst time.
Cool option, though.
No, for sure. So I'm just gonna play this defend. You know what? We'll play that so that I have access to what I got going on here, and that'll be fine. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna take another 2 terror. You know, I don't have any cards to play at the moment. Yeah. Oh,
this leech is bad business.
It's definitely bad business. I meant to discard this Silver Bolt there. We're both going to be terrorized.
Did you have to discard 2?
Oh, yeah, I do need 2. That's a good call there.
Maybe discard another defend?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably a good call there. Man. Probably just need to really try to do something here. So
you can spend your magic. Oh, you already lost it?
I don't have the magic. I didn't have that card initially. So we'll roll with that. That's fine. You know what?
It's not fine.
It's all right. We'll do 1 damage. It's gonna give me 2 terror, which is great. I won't draw a card here, and we're just gonna top deck like you did. Ooh. Okay. That's at least like a solid adventure here. Where's my going insane?
Are you also going insane now?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not there yet.
Going insane's 5 and 6 for me.
No.
So we're good. We are just fine. There's no need to be concerned here because I could gain 1 terror here, and we're back to me. And top card, I feel confident in my abilities here. So I'm going to deal in 2 damage on this card. Cool.
Disabling Bolt. You're going to be losing 1 magic and gaining 1 terror. You can't gain the terror.
And I can't lose the magic, so nothing happens.
Okay.
Cool.
You're top decking again.
I am top decking again with a powerful bolt. I don't have 2 aggression, so I have 4. Which I'm immediately going to
lose 1.
Yep.
That feels familiar. Okay, top deck again. Top deck again.
This top deck is going to do absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Because it can't connect, and I don't have any...
Okay, go ahead and top deck again, because you're not losing anything again.
There it is.
Yep.
You know, that didn't do anything.
Okay, great. Hey, we're going to go grab some Chinese food. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this, hit the thumbs up down below. I'll be honest with you. We're going to continue recording tonight the rest of this session.
For sure.
I'm loving this. Depending on how well this video does, will determine whether or not I release those videos here or just stick them up on the Patreon or something like that. Like, the YouTube algorithm is the master I serve. I must sacrifice myself at the altar to keep it alight. If you want more of this, go ahead and make sure you support the channels that give you the content you want. With that, we'll call this a session.
Yeah.
We'll go grab some food, and then we'll talk about the mistakes we've made.
We'll come back for session 2 refreshed.
We're both insane.
Yeah,
this is a good place to end.
Figure out what we want to do here.
This is a good wrap. I feel really confident about both of us not defeating the worm.
Oh, I feel very confident.
Let's just set him back right there so we remember the suffering that we've been through.
Yes, indeed.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks.